Joyful Danish. Stay human. Is it even still possible to stay human? Maybe it's not too late. Hello guys, welcome to Joyful Danish. I'm your host, Daniel, therapist, cryptotherapist, psychomotor therapist, at least that's my degree, working with the body and the mind dynamic. And I'm on a journey to try to hopefully help a bunch of people, but also myself of course, to stay human, also in tech. And in particular, I will often favorize the Web 3 over the Web 2, because it does seem like the Web 3 is to some degree much more volatile, also stress-wise. And no one seems to focus so much on that. And that's kind of what I found, what can you say, a need that I need to do something about it then, because if I see it, I need to do something about it. But even though last time we covered crypto stress signs during a bear market, and well, now you may be thinking, well, wouldn't it be natural to then take the next one, the stress signs during a bull market? Sure, that is actually the teaser for the next episode. Well, see you in the next one. Bye. No. No, I thought that more the urgency in between those to actually focusing on something that many people forget in all this stress and worries and whatnot that can happen very often in the crypto space. But what about enjoying life before we go to the moon? You know, so many people focusing on something future scenario that maybe or maybe not is going to happen. So they pause their life. They don't enjoy themselves anymore. They become machines. They become, something that they maybe didn't want it to be. So how can you enjoy life before we go to the moon? And can you enjoy life before we go to the moon? If that's the case, you know. So that is actually the theme of today's episode. So thank you for tuning in and welcome back to Joyful Danish. I'm Daniel, I'm your host. And today we're going to try to see how we can remember to enjoy your and our lives now and not first when it moons. So let's be honest, the financial dream of freedom, financial freedom, drives many in crypto, but somewhere along the line we risk forgetting to live. From the outside, crypto looks like the fast lane to a dream life, but inside it's a waiting game. I'll rest when Ethereum hits 10k. I'll travel when NFT flips. Or I finally be happy when I retire early. The book that I made, Crypto People's Health Playbook, that I still working on. I still add stuff to it, but I would say that it is kind of pretty much it's a good chunk of information so far. There it actually talks about exactly this, how we can pause and how we can check in. So that maybe can be already the first tiny bit exercise we can try to practice here together if you are open to it and you are in a safe state and environment that allows you to maybe close your eyes and take a breath in, hold it for a couple of seconds and breathe out. And do that one more time. by breathing in. Hold it. And breathe out. So 1, 2, 3. Now you checked in. And that is kind of important, to check in frequently to yourself. Because today we're actually going to ask ourselves some pretty hard questions, maybe. Are you maybe ending up regretting some of your life decisions? And this could maybe be one of them. To postpone living actually your life because of something that you not fully are in control of. And might not work as you maybe was hoping for. And for this elaboration of this topic, I found, because that's the thing, right? Many people say like, yeah, is this something maybe I'm going to regret when I'm like retiring or in my deathbed or something like that? That's always a wonder, isn't it? There has actually been a woman, Bronnie Ware, was an Australian nurse, and she actually published some of her work that she gathered because she was a palliative care nurse. That means usually people who have maybe, 2 or 3 months left to live. And that ended up being a book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. Many people probably have heard this before, but I felt that this was actually kind of perfect to add to this topic. And we're going to go through the top 5 regrets of the dying people. And there is link below to the book and different resources and links of whatever, All this we're going to cover in this episode. And then I'm going to take those 5 regrets and then transfer it to a crypto-related examples. And then possible exercises that you can consider to maybe do when you have time and motivation for do that. Hope that sounds good, and that's definitely what we're going to try to go through today. And sit back tight and let you get minds wandering into like, okay, what is these 5 potential regrettable things? Again, these were like general things that these elderly people end up having. So these are like the sum up, the top 5. So the first one, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Maybe you recognize this one already. 3, I wish I had expressed my feelings. 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with friends. And number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. So, we are here today to avoid these regrets, starting now, by evaluating them one by one and trying to apply Bronnie's 5 regrets collected from this hospital that she was working at. Let's take the first one with crypto examples and one exercise from actually the playbook that I've made, the Crypto People's Health Playbook. So number 1 was like, okay, living a life true to yourself. So, a red flag. You're holding position or building brands that no longer align with who you are, just to fit in. So, real life, I built a Web3 identity that became a mask. I was afraid to admit that I wanted to slow down and start painting again, but didn't have time for it. So, an exercise, review your present life. What is my purpose today? Only for today. What could that be? Is this something I'll regret doing? or not doing? And where do I say yes from joy? And where do I maybe say no from fear? And if something needs to be changed, what can be one small step that you can do today? Have to do today. Start changing and adjusting. What could be one small step? So you giving yourself a permission slip to actually start to change things. Instead of just saying like, well, I don't know, I'll do it tomorrow, another time. That's so easy to do, right? But then that potential will be a trap for never ever do anything about it. So just one small step. Because then, otherwise, you might end up saying the next thing, that it is number 2 of the top 5 regrettable things. I wish I didn't work so hard. That I didn't work so hard. So red flag, 14 hours of Discord grinds, no weekends, always on, is maybe not the way to go if you don't want to have this as a regret in your life. So, real life example. A DAO member told us, I didn't see my kid walk for the first time because I was deep in governance chat. That's the thing, right? I see many people that are just in the phones, in the screens. They're not present with their kids. And that often end up being a regret later on. I wish I was more present in my life, So there is an invitation for you, if that really hits you home for you, making an enough list. Because that's the thing, right? It's not enough. I need to still do more, and I still have to pull more on this direction. Making an enough list. Write out things that you enjoy today without needing to moon first or to get that extra salary or to have earned so much. Like for example, walking. Listen to some of your favorite music that you listened to when you were a teenager, maybe. Comic books that you read as a kid. Walking in nature, in a park. Or at the beach. Enjoying the waves, crashing in, walk barefoot in the sand, enjoying the warmth from the sun, sitting at a bench, giving yourself a rest. Life isn't postponed. It's live. It's alive. And the third thing, I wish I expressed my feelings. Red flag, you're bottling up shame over a failed trade, not telling your loved ones how scared you feel. Well, that sounds like potential regret. Definitely if it adds up to like years and years of the same behavior. So, real life example, I couldn't admit to my partner how stressed I was after a rug pull. I just said, all good. It wasn't. So, exercise, invitation, emotional intelligence journal. This can actually help you and support you in so many other areas in your life, but it will actually also improve your overall health in the crypto space. Trying to write just a little bit, doesn't have to be 20 pages. It can just be like a few sentences or a few keywords in the beginning. What am I really feeling today, right now? What helps me express this safely? And who can I share and I feel deserves my truth? So you can start to practice this, And then the number 4, I wish I stayed connected to my friends. Red flag, you haven't spoke to non-crypto friends in months. You are in 12 Telegram groups, but still feel lonely. Well, that sounds like something that could be creating potentially this regret. So here's an invitation for you. Try to create time to appreciate your circle. Reflect on what each person brings into your life. Reach out. One message can reconnect. A lifeline. I mean, we, particularly us men, we are usually not so good at actually sending a message. Hey, you want to hang out? We maybe did when we were kids or teenagers. But when we become adults, it seems so much harder. One of my hacks is actually sometimes to just send a funny video or a meme, and that ends up starting a conversation, and then I maybe invite them to go to a meetup or an Eventbrite event. For example, hey, another little sponsored input here. It's free, but it is something I've been doing for over half a year now. It's this events that I call Investor and Founders Healthy Secrets, where in Lisbon, I invite people to walk and talk, because very often people who are in those areas, they tend to only focus on push, do. How can I improve? How can I make things more efficient and so on? Perform all the way. Sure, great. But how do you take care of yourself along the way? So that's kind of also what inspired this podcast in the beginning, actually. Those health secrets and the longevity hacks and overall focus on improving health, and in particular in Web3 space, thought I was essential to actually put some more focus on. So that was just a little bit of promo there. So if you are in Lisbon, please come. It's every month. So from Casa Sodre, pretty central in Lisbon. And we walk along the sidewalk of the river, Tejo. And it's quite nice. And we usually go somewhere, maybe eat a little bit or drink. But if you just come for the walk, that's also perfectly fine. So yeah, another invitation there for you. So the last one. I wish that letting myself be happy, more happy. So red flag, if you're delaying your happiness, your joy, until a specific price target, and never really allowing yourself to actually let loose, relax, see a funny movie, a comedy act or something, you know, that can potentially be pretty hard down the road. So, real life example, even when I hit 100x, I didn't celebrate. I start hunting for the next thing. Again, back to the not enough thing. That's why the enough list is actually a very simple and a supportive tool that you can try to consider to start working and collecting, so you can remind yourself. I actually do this myself every Monday. I have it as in my calendar as a reminder of, example, those things here. Because in this way, sure, there's a lot of times where I don't read it, but it will come up that when I eventually need it that Monday, then I can remind myself, oh yeah, these are the things that actually is enough, and these are the things that I'm grateful for, and these are the things that I actually normally do in my past situations when I needed support that helped me before. Because sometimes the brain's like, oh no, we have to read a new book or find another technique that will take ages to learn and so on before we start benefiting from it, instead of just going back to the thing that we actually already know but forgot, because now the problem is gone, so now we forget the solution as well. So when a new problem arises, which is the similar one as the previous one, we have to come up with a new thing. That's why I remind myself every Monday in my calendar, automatically, some of these things here. And that's also why I give you this invitation that some of the exercise you can do is actually try to find these 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for, but it has to be during the same day. That keeps the exercise fresh, and it also trains your brain to notice during the day what actually did spark a little bit of a joy. What did you actually were grateful for and actually felt a little bit happy about? And how can you honor that more often? Honor that. How can you honor that more often? Went a little bit British there. How can you honor that more often? Yeah. You know? Because I must say that very often the things that I often come back to are actually the small things. It sounds so cheesy and so corny and cliche, but I must say, yeah, in my experience it's still true. When I listen to the birds in the morning, when I wake up, it is pretty nice. It is something that I feel like provides something to my life quality and overall joy. Enjoying the sun, or seeing some kids play, hearing kids laughing, or seeing a couple enjoying each other, showing affection to each other, and feeling the breeze and the leaves in the trees when it's windy, or feeling the sun touching my skin, closing my eyes, and just taking it in. All these small things actually helps me to remember, yeah, just that alone is actually pretty nice too. And this lady that had made this book actually made another book. So if you want to dive even more into this, and I will link to it below, she made a book called Your Year for Change, encourages weekly reflection for regret-free living. So, what will bring your joy, more joy today, if you stopped waiting for permission? That's a key question I think I will leave you with today. And I will also kind of give you this. Crypto isn't just about future gains, it's about present choices. Your worth isn't tied to your wallet. And your life doesn't start after success. It's happening now. So don't wait for the moon, enjoy Earth. It's where you actually live, at least physically. So try to come here mentally as well, and you will be able to be more present. That's actually also why I love focusing so much with these physical exercises, because it helps you to become more present. That's actually what I see. The physical sensations is the main function of making you come more present in the now. Some of the most vivid memories I have and can still recall were the situation where I was most present. I could take in the sensory input from my body. My body could store that because I was present to take this input in and store it, and thereby I can actually recall it now when I want to and revisit some nice memories. So in that sense, that also helps a little bit with not regretting certain things. For example, enjoying life, and then potentially or alternatively looking like, damn, all these years went by and don't really feel like I had that many enjoyable enjoyable memories. So I feel like that's important. And I will say thank you for listening. And if this touched you, something in you, send this to someone who needs this reminder, crypto buddy or web-free colleague. And remember, your joy isn't speculative. It's available now. And next episode, a little teaser, will be crypto stress signs in a bull market. And which one do you have? So, even though we are going to talk about that in the next episode, it's still so important. And that's why I put this episode in between this, the bear market stress signs and the bull market stress signs, is actually because I feel like that this is so crucial, and we will probably have to revisit this as well, because we all need to have reminders, right, about what is also important. So again, if you maybe have heard about these 5 regrets of the dying from this Australian nurse, Bronnie Ware, then please use it as an invitation to actually just make a short or long, as long as you need, to review your current situation. So if you are about to die, because again, we never know, it could happen to anyone, for any of us. I think like it's healthy to think about this once a while, just so you maybe are not going to regret this. This will be the last one I'll add. I actually often have asked myself, like, if there's something that I'm not sure if I should do or not, then I eventually ask myself, is this something that I actually will regret if I'm like 90 or 100 years old, sitting on a nursing home, wondering what could have happened if I did it? If the answer is yes, then I kind of already know that, okay, I need to do it. At least I need to try it out, see what happens. Because that's actually another key thing I remember from the book, that it says that, you probably also heard this quote before, but like most people actually regrets mainly the things that they didn't do, not the things that did do. So, yeah, I think I will say that's the main thing. And again, you're welcome to join our Discord group. Again, because I really want to focus and make this less taboo about health and how to improve health in Web3. So, and it's free, and you're welcome to join if you want. And I will just say thank you for tuning in, and stay human and take care. Bye. Joyful Danish. Stay human. Is it even still possible to stay human? Maybe it's not too late.